शलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः। ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome to the teachings of Lord Chaitanya to Sanatana Goswami, which we have been doing every Sunday and Monday evening. We began last week with chapter 23. Chapter 23 is a short chapter, but although it is short, it is very deep. Because Mahaprabhu is describing Prem as the Prayojan, the ultimate goal. After the audio, I hope you are able to hear. So after we perform the Abhidheya, then automatically we attain the Prayojan, that is Krishna Prem. So Mahaprabhu begins describing the Prayojan in chapter 23. And the Abhidheya result is Prayojan. And Mahaprabhu goes on to describe the definition of Bhava Bhakti, which is Prema Ankur. The two characteristics we saw. And then he describes Prema Bhakti definition. And then he gives the scriptural proof. Now within this Prema Bhakti, which is the ultimate goal, there are stages of Bhakti. So he goes on to explain the stages: Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, Nartivriti, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav and Prem. And how only when the Bhakti is mixed, it is not Ananya Bhakti, only when it is pure, then Ananya Bhakti begins. Then there is Sadhu Sangha. We discussed this quite in detail, if you remember. So these stages we discussed quite in detail. And then this Bhava Bhakti has characteristics. So in the last class, we discussed the 9 characteristics of Bhava Bhakti. Now today, we will begin our discussion, which is from text 39 to 65, the symptoms of a devotee who has attained Prema Bhakti. So Prema Bhakti, Lakshana, after Bhava Bhakti Lakshana, Prema Bhakti Lakshana, Mahaprabhu is going to describe. Yandra Chitta Krishna Prema Karaya Uday Tandra Vakya Kriya Mudra Vigyana Bujaya. So please remember this, that Tandra Vakya Kriya Mudra Vigyana Bujaya. For whom? Yandra Chitta Krishna Prema Karaya Uday. For one who has attained Krishna Prema. For them, their words, activities, symptoms are not understandable even to the most learned. Even to the most learned. Now, why is it? What is the reason we cannot understand, na bujhaya? One was written in Krishna Prem. They are a vakya, kriya, mudra. Why you cannot understand? What is the reason? Anyone would like to throw some light on it? What is the reason you feel cannot understand? Anyone? Virendra Yadav Prabhuji? What is the reason we cannot understand the activities of one who has attained love of Godhead? Even the learned, Vigya, even the learned cannot understand the words, Vakya, Kriya, activities, and Mudra. Mudra means their actions also. What is the reason, Virendra Yadav?
So I think they are always on transcendental platform, and we being a conditioned soul under material nature, we cannot understand their activity. This could be the reason.
Can you speak a little loudly, please?
So I'm saying that those who are at Bhava and Prema level, they are at transcendental level, and their activity and consciousness, it is totally on different platform, and we still under most and conditions, we may not understand their activity. This could be.
Yes. See, one of the reasons is that we being conditioned, we know, senses and sense activities, but their senses are completely purified, and their activities, because our senses can only perceive sense objects or sensual activities. So their activities might seem sensual, but that is why we should not Vigyana Bujaya. So we should be very careful about it. There is a story, Gaur Govind Maharaj says that in Orissa, we know that fish is Jalera Phal. Everyone eats fish. So there was a very elevated Vaishnava, Mahabhagavat, who used to reside in Orissa, and he used to go to the market and buy fish. And, usually they dry the fish and it smells, very foul smell comes. So he used to dry the fish in front of his house. And all others would criticize, oh, see what kind of a Vaishnava he is. He thinks he's very elevated, but he eats fish. So the reason why he used to do that activity was so that he avoids all bad association. Nobody disturbs him, and inside in his heart he used to sit and do bhajan. So because we are accustomed to sensual activities, we think he might be eating fish, but he was doing that for a different purpose. So that's why Vigyana Bujaya. So we should be careful about it. Now, Mahaprabhu gives one scriptural proof for this. Dhyanyasyayam nava prema yasyonmilite chetasi antarvabhir apyasya mudrashushtu sudurgama. Even for the most learned scholar cannot understand the activities and symptoms of an exalted personality in whose heart love of Godhead has awakened. Nava prema yasun milita chetasa antar vani bhir apyasya mudra shushta sudurgama. Sudurgama means it is it cannot understand. So this is a reference given in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which Prabhupada is mentioning. There is a second scriptural quote given from the Bhagavatam. Evam vrata swapriya nama kirtaya jatanurago drutachitta uchay hasatyado rodati rauti gayantya unmadavan nrityati lokabhaya. When a person is actually advanced and takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord, swapriya nama kirtya, who is very dear to him, he is agitated and loudly chants the holy name. Hasatir, Ato, Rodati. He also laughs, cries, becomes agitated and chants like a madman, not caring for outsiders. Nrityati Lokabhaya. So this is the this is the essence of Bhagavatam. To come to this point, we have to become mad after the holy name. So this is again from the Bhagavatam in the second canto, as mentioned, the Navyogendra Katha. So this is second scriptural proof. Prema krame bade hoy, sneha man pranaya, raga anuraga bhava, mahabhava hoy. Love of Godhead increases as is manifested as affection, sneha, counter love, man or love and anger. It's called love, pranaya. Pranaya means love. Attachment, raga. Sub-attachment, anuraga. Ecstasy, bhava. Mahabhava hoy, sublime ecstasy. Now, actually, there are no equal English equivalents to these words, but Prabhupada has, whatever best, in the words dictionary he has given us. But these terminologies are very difficult to express in English. Now, it is interesting. Prema, krame bade, prema gradually increases to all these. But you see that bhava is here. But till now we studied that after bhava there is prema. So how do we understand this? Anyone? How do we understand this? Yes, Parsarthi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Yes.
Bhava is just like when the sun is shining. First, we don't see the sun. We see the golden light in the morning. And then sun comes on the sky. So sun coming on the sky is like prema. And the golden light at dawn is bhava. So there will be a traces of bhava at the time of prema also. I mean, it is a transition stage. This is my understanding.
Before prema there is bhava, correct?
Correct.
Now after prema there are higher stages and again there is bhava here. How come?
Just like in the what I understand is that when the sun is on the sky also there will
No,
be
see,
golden light.
there is just as your example is, there is some light here and there is a full sunlight prema. Now these are higher stages in prema, so there is how bhava, again there is only light here.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so within prema there are these higher levels. It's not that these 9 stages are prema. After prema there are higher and higher levels, and these levels cannot be attained in sadhaka body, or even when, not exactly sadhaka body, in a siddha body also. Only in the spiritual body these higher levels can be experienced. So here I am just giving a graph to explain. Uttama Bhakti, there is Sadhana Bhakti. Within Sadhana Bhakti, there is Vaidhi, then Raganuga, which was dealt in chapter 22. Now, chapter 23, we have come to the definition of Bhava Bhakti, which is actually not like, before sunrise. It is just a ray of sun. Just one ray of sun it is. Prema Ankur it is. Ankur means Surya Amsha. One ray of sun. Not even like the entire diffusion of the sun. It's just one ray. It's ankur. It is just a sprout, just one sprout out, bhava. And then there is prema. Now within prema, there are these higher stages: pranaya, sneha, raga, anuraga, mana, bhava, and mahabhava. Bhava I have not mentioned here. So within prema, there is that bhava. That bhava is different from this bhava. Please remember that. That is within prema, that bhava. And mahabhava is within prema. So bhava actually is called as rudhi, and mahabhava is called as adi rudhi. It will come up now. So these higher stages, only when one gets a spiritual body, either in Krishna Lila or directly in the spiritual world, one can experience these higher ecstasies in prema. Okay. Okay. Mahaprabhu continues. Bija ikshurasa guda tabe khandasar shakarar shita mishak micharir shuddha micharir ar. This development is compared to sugarcane seeds, sugarcane plants, sugarcane juice, molasses, fruit sugar, fine sugar, sugar candy, and rock candy. So the intensity of prema goes on becoming more and more condensed. Mahaprabhu is giving some analogy for us to understand. Ihaye krame nirmal krama bada swad rati prema dirtache badaye aswad. One should understand that just as the taste of sugar increases as it is gradually purified, so when love of Godhead increases from rati, which is compared to the beginning of seed, its taste increases. So I told rati, bhava is rati, and it is seed. And with prema, the taste goes more. With sneha, still more. With man, still more, like that. Adhikari Vedarati Pancha Prakarar Parakar Shantadasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurya Ar. According to the candidates possessing these transcendental qualities, Sneha, Man, and so on, there are 5 transcendental mellows: Dasya, Sakya, Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. So based on the Adhikar, you can go to higher levels of Prema. That's the point Mahaprabhu is making here. Text. I know here there is a purport by Prabhupada. We'll just see that. In Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Rati is thus described. Vaktam Marshin Nevantar Lakshayate Ratir Lakshanam Mumukshu Prabhritam Ched Bhavet Esha Ratir Nahi Kintu Bhala Chamakkar Kari Tachinna Vikshaya Abhigyena Subodoyam Ratyabhasa Parikirtita. The real symptoms of the fructification of seed of love, Rati, are manifested because the heart is melted. Marshin Nevantar Lakshana, Rati Lakshanam. When such symptoms are found among speculators and fruitive actors, Mumukshu, Prabhrinitam, Chet, they cannot be accepted as real symptoms of attachment. Esha Ratir Nahi, it is not real Rati. Rati is softening of the heart. But if we see it in materialist people, mumukshus, then it is not the real symptom. Foolish people without knowledge of devotional service praise such symptoms of attachment even when they are based on something other than the desire to serve Krishna. Why? Even when we see in such people, it is still not Rati, because they have in a Subodhoyam. Call such symptoms Ratyabhas. Ratyabhasa Parikirtita, a mere glimpse of attachment. So it is Rati Abhas, it is Ratyabhas, it is not Rati. Ei Panchastayi Bhava Haya Pancharas, Ei Rasa Bhakta Sukhi Krishna Haya Vash. These 5 transcendental mellows exist permanently. These are called as Stahi Bhavs. In the last class, we discussed the definition of Stahi Bhav, if you remember. The devotee may be attracted to one of these mellows, and thus he becomes happy. Ei Rasa Bhakta Sukhi. Krishna also becomes inclined towards such a devotee and comes under his control. Krishna hoy vash. Now, Prabhupada in the purport describes or defines Stahi Bhav, the permanent emotion. In Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 251, Stahi Bhav, permanent ecstasy, is thus described. Aviruddhan viruddhamscha bhavanyo vashatam nayan surajeva virajite sa stahi bhava uchyate stahi bhavatrasa prokta Shri Krishna Vishayarati. These moods, bhavas, bring under the control of favorable ecstasies, such as laughing, and unfavorable ecstasies, such as anger. When these moods continue to remain as kings, they are called Stahi Bhav or permanent ecstasies. Continuous ecstatic love for Krishna is called permanent ecstasy. And if you remember, I explained the definition of Stahi Bhav. Stahi Bhav is the permanent emotion, the rasa which he has with Krishna. It can be Sakya Vatsalya or Madhurya, Dasya Sakya Vatsalya or Madhurya, based on his cultivation during the practice of Raganuga Sadhana. The mood, the constitutional mood, what he aspires, which he has greed for, following the eternal associates, the Ragatmika Bhaktas, he starts doing his bhajan in Raganuga Sadhana. And as Raganuga Sadhana matures and goes through the stages of Ruchi, Asakti, and he attains Bhava, one sense Bhava is bestowed, then his he also develops that similar mood of the eternal associates and he attains spontaneous love now. And his Tahi Bhav, his Swarupa is revealed, Krishna also reveals himself, and there is now exchange of rasa happening in Shanta, Dasya, Sakya or Vatsalya, whichever he is cultivating. So that is the definition of Stahi Bhav. Text 47. Any questions you have, you can raise your hands. Premadika Stahi Bhav Samagri Milene Krishna Bhakti Rasa Rupe Paye Pariname. When the permanent ecstasies, that is that Stahi Bhav, Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, are mixed with other ingredients, Samagri Milena, devotional service in love of Godhead is transformed and becomes composed of transcendental mellows. So please carefully understand the definition of rasa. This particular text, text 47, is defining rasa. What is the definition of rasa? Who will tell me? You can read here in this verse and I want you to understand and tell me what is the definition of rasa. Okay, let us go one step back. There has to be Stahi Bhav. Now when the Stahi Bhav mixes with the Samagri Milena is mentioned. Now what are these Samagris? What are these Samagris? We discussed in the last class. Those who have attended the last class will definitely know it. What are the Samagris? What are the Samagris here? The Stahi Bhav has to mix with the Samagris. What are the Samagris? I gave the example also to make it very clear. Yes, Parsati Prabhuji. Yes, you can speak. Hare Krishna. No response from your side. Okay. Anyone else would like to answer Dr. Archana Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat. I think I wasn't there, but if I can guess, if it is allowed, all four regulative principles, the regular japas.
Pardon?
Where, no, Prabhuji, I can't know.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, it is a little difficult, but still I wanted devotees to try. Now, here is again this graph, this picture. You have to carefully understand. Stahi bhav is the permanent emotion. Is the permanent emotion, either dasya, sakya, vatsalya, or madhurya, which is revealed at the bhava stage. So your permanent emotion with Krishna is revealed. Now, here the definition is saying this tahi bhav is mixed with other ingredients, samagri. Samagri. So the samagri are vibhav, anubhav, sanchari bhav, and satvik bhav. So when the stahi bhav mixes with all these four, it gives rise to rasa. So this is the difference between rasa and bhava. Rasa is created only when all the bhavas mix together, it gives rise to rasa. Puri has got rasa. You cannot just take wheat powder and eat, or just oil and drink it. Puri, when it is nicely made into a batter and then rolled and then put it in the oil and fried, then it gives taste. Halwa, you just cannot eat rava. Halwa has to mix, roasted and then mixed with milk and dry fruits and ghee and sugar. All these ingredients mix, and then you get halwa rasa. So similarly, stahi bhav, this permanent emotion has to be there. And then only when this mixes with all these other four ingredients, then it gives rise to rasa. So this is first thing you have to understand what is samagri and what is the difference between bhava and rasa. So now you tell me, what are the samagris? Who will tell me what are the samagris? You heard it just now. Dr. Archana Mataji.
No, Prabhuji, I'll study and then I'll answer.
Pardon?
For me, it's difficult to recall also. So I'll study.
Okay. Parsarthi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Dandat Prabhuji, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes. The samagris are sthai bhav, anubhav.
No. You just see this definition here. When the permanent ecstasies, neutrality, servitorship, this is called as Thahi Bhav. This is called as Thahi Bhav. So it is not a samagri. Thahi Bhav cannot be a samagri. What are the samagris? I just know.
Anubhav, vibhav, sanchari bhav, and satvika.
Yes. So please remember the samagris are vibhav, anubhav, sanchari bhav, and satviki. Without the stahi bhav, these cannot exist. Samagri. Only when the stahi bhav mixes with the samagris, then there is rasa. Without the rava, you cannot have the halwa, rasa. Yes? So halwa with all other ingredients together give rise to rasa. I hope this is clear. Raise your hands if it is not clear or if you have any questions. This is very important. It took me years to understand this. And I want you all to understand it. It's simple, but at the same time, you need to digest it. Any questions on this? How many of you could not understand? Raise your hands. I think others are not present here. Otherwise, okay, Dr. Archana Mataji, what you did not understand?
No, I'm not getting the individual meaning of all four ingredients. What is the individual meaning of those? I have missed the last class, I suppose.
Oh, that is why.
So,
Yes. That is
I'm
why.
not able to.
Okay. So we were going to go into those definitions of what is Vibhav, Anubhav, Satviki Bhav, and Vyabhichari Bhav. But still, they are samagris. At least for now, you can understand. They are ingredients. They are ingredients, which mix with the Sahibhav and give rise to rasa. At least this is clear. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, it is clear.
This is clear. No?
Sahibhav is fixed and there are four ingredients. These
Yes.
two things.
These
plus
four
one
ingredients mix with the Sahibhav
with Sahibhav.
to give rise to rasa. Now,
Yes.
what is the rasa Stahi Bhav of Mother Yashoda with Krishna? Which rasa it is?
Vatsalya.
That is the Stahi Bhav. Okay, now I am showing a picture here. Kindly see this. Now, Mother Yashoda has Vatsalya rasa, that is the Sahi Bhav, and the Vishaya, which is called as Vibhava. Alamban is love. Love, when we speak of love, there have to be two. And Alamban is support. Just like for anything to stand, you need two support. The Alamban is the support. So there is the object of love and there is a subject of love. So for Mother Yashoda, object of love is Krishna. So he is called as Vishaya Alamban, Krishna. And the Vibhava, Alamban Ashray, the abode of love. Mother Yashoda has love in her heart for Krishna. So she is Ashray, the abode of love. And he is the Vishay, subject of love. Called Uddipan. Within Vibhav, there is something called as Uddipan. It will come up now. So Krishna in the evening, when he is about to come back, Mother Yashoda sees the sun setting and her Vatsalya Bhav starts, rising up in her heart. Similarly, mothers who send their children to school, moment they hear the evening school bus coming, their parental love for the child opens the gate. So they know they are inside, but they hear, and their Vatsalya for the child, they run out to greet the child. So similarly, Uddipana, these are spiritual sense objects, which activate the Stahi Bhav. For here, it is Mother Yashoda. This is Uddipan. Anubhav is the voluntary action from heightened affection for the object of love. That is Anubhav. So Mother Yashoda is opening her arms. It is a voluntary action of expression of love. So this is called as Anubhav. And feelings such as joy are called Sanchari Bhav, that nourish a child. Mother Yashoda might jump high, and that jumping is out of love. So these are, heightened emotions, which rise like, in the ocean. Sometimes there are waves, especially when Mother Yashoda saw Krishna on the Kalia hoods. Her Vatsalya Bhav went to a height. So these, temporary, which emotions which come, transient emotions, these are called, which come like waves in the ocean, which could rise very high, but they embellish the Stahi Bhav. These are called as Sanchari Bhavs. Here it is not there, but I'm just explaining. So you can see now, among all the, Mother Yashoda might feel the hair standing on her end. These are involuntary actions because she doesn't say hair stand on end. No. So they are called as Satviki Bhavs. So all these, Vibhava, Anubhava, Sanchari Bhav and Satviki Bhavs all mix with the Stahi Bhav, and there is rasa which is created. There is rasa which is created. I hope this makes things a little more clear. Has everyone understood it? Any questions? I just showed this from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Any questions? This is very important that we understand. We have all this experience even in the material world, in our relationships. But just that, philosophically, we don't understand the whole science. Bhakti is a great science. Bhava is not just some emotion. Rupa Goswami is giving definitions for it. So any questions on this? Any clarifications? Okay. Dr. Archana Mataji, what is rasa?
Rasa is, there has to be one permanent sthayi bhav,
Yes.
and it is mixed with 4 ingredients.
Yes.
Uh,
Samagri.
Samagri. Yes.
And it is transformed into
Rasa.
Rasa. Okay.
Yes,
Clear.
Prabhuji, thank you.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Now Prabhupada gives a little definition of this. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the following definition is given. I'll just read directly the translation. Okay, I'll read. Atasya Keshavaratir Lakshitaya Nigatyate Samagri Pariposhena Parama Rasa Rupita Vibhaver Anubhavescha Satvikeer Vebicharibhi Swadhyatvam Riddhi Bhaktanam Anita Shravanadibhi Isha Krishnarati Stahi Bhavo Bhakti Raso Bhave. Love for Krishna Keshav. Keshava Rati, as previously described, reaches the supreme state being composed of mellows when its ingredients are fulfilled by means of Vibhav, Anubhav, Satviki Bhav, Vebhichari. So when all these samagri, Vibhav, Anubhav and all they mix, hearing and chanting are activated and the devotee is able to taste love of Godhead. Then attachment for Krishna or permanent exercise becomes the mellow of devotional service, Bhakti Ras. Okay. So I mentioned how Stahibhav, when it mixes with Vibhav, Anubhav, Sanchari, or any, there can be only Stahibhav and Vibhav and Anubhav only. And Sanchari Bhav can be also there. There can be Satviki or cannot be. But it should mix with some Samagri and it gives rise to Rasa. Okay. There was one hand raised. Any question? Yes, Parth Sarthi Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. I think your mic is not working. Haribol? Maybe you can type your question because your mic is not working. Okay, let's now go to next verse. Vibhava Anubhava Satviki Vebichari Stahi Bhava Rasa Hoy Charmili. Permanent ecstasy becomes more and more relishable, transcendental, mellow through the mixture of special ecstasy. Prabhupada calls Vibhava special ecstasy, subordinate ecstasy, Anubhav, natural ecstasy, Satviki, and transitory ecstasy, transient emotion. Prabhupada calls in the Bhakti nectar of devotion, Vebichari. Dhodiyena khanda moricha karpura milena rasalakya rasahoy apurasadana. Yogurt. Now, yogurt you can consider as Stahi Bhav. So there is Vatsalya affection, Mother Yashoda has, but it becomes more relishable when all these samagri are there. So yogurt itself is relishable when it is with sugar candy, black pepper and camphor is very palatable and tasty. Beauties know that, especially mothers know how to, cake is very nice, but on the cake you have a cream layer, and on the cream there is some other, nice, what is the cherries and all sorts of, roasted cashew, becomes more and more tasty. So similarly, Stahi Bhav with the samagris becomes more and more, there is rasa created. Similarly, when permanent ecstasy mixes with other ecstatic symptoms, it becomes unprecedentedly tasty. Okay, Shant Rasa hasn't been included here in Sahibab. It is included in Sahibab. If you see the definition, Shanta Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurya are. But I've been, while only discussing Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurya, because these are the 4 rasas Mahaprabhu came to give us, not Shanta. The 4 rasas is what Mahaprabhu gave, and especially Mahaprabhu came to give the highest rasa, which is Madhurya. So that's why, but Shant rasa is also there. That is understood. Okay. Text 50. Dvida Vibhav Alamban Uddipan, Vamsi Swaradi Uddipan, Krishnadi Alamban. There are 2 kinds of particular ecstasies, Vibhav. Now, Vibhav has been defined. I gave a general understanding of Vibhav, but now exact definition. One is called the support, Alamban, and the other is called awakening, Uddipan. The vibration of Krishna's flute is an example of awakening, and Lord Krishna himself is the example of support. So Vibhav is that which stimulates the Stahi Bhav. Vibhav is that which stimulates the Stahi Bhav. Now Alamban is support. So as I mentioned, I think, let me go back to the picture and explain this. Let me finish this next discussion, and then we will take a slide to explain it more in detail. Anubhava smita nritya gitadi udbhaswara stambadi statvika anubhavera bhitara. The subordinate ecstasies, anubhav, are smiling, smita, dancing, nritya, singing. So these are voluntary actions. When you smile, the smile is a sign of love in the heart. So that is smile. Nritya, dancing, you're feeling happy at heart. That's why you're dancing. And then Gita-di, singing. Just imagine what the Hare Krishna Sankirtan is doing. It's all our activities, of anubhavas in one sense, although we don't know it. The natural ecstasies are satvaki, such as being stunned, are considered among the subordinate ecstasies, anubhav. They are falling sometimes within the category of anubhav. But it is a separate classification because it is involuntary, whereas anubhava is voluntary. Okay, here I think I have, yes, now I'll try to explain Vibhav. Within Vibhav, there is Alamban and Uddipan. Alamban is just support. Just I have here, there is support. So there's a Vishaya, subject, Ashraya. Krishna is a Vishaya, and the Ashraya is the devotee who possesses love for Krishna. So Mother Yashoda has love for Krishna, Vatsalya Ras. So the object is Krishna. So which form of Krishna is the Vishaya for Mother Yashoda? Please hear my question very carefully and try to answer. Which form of Krishna is most suitable as the object of love for Mother Yashoda? Who will answer this? Bala or Pauganda or Kaishore? Among these forms, which is most suitable form for Mother Yashoda as the object of love for her Vatsalya Rav? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Lord Prabhuji. Bala Krishna.
Balakrishna, yes. And for the gopis?
Kishore Vayu.
Yes. So I hope you got the definition of Alaman. So within the Alaman, there is Vishaya and Ashray. Uddipan are spiritual sense objects which activate the Stahi Bhav. So here I have given for the Sakya Ras, that's the bugle horn or the stick. For the Vatsalya, the ornaments, Krishna's ankle bells, what he wears. When Mother Yashoda hears her Vatsalya Bhav, Krishna's curly hairs, Krishna's ankle bells. For the Madhuri Ras, when he plays the flute, the Gopas don't run, it's only the Gopis. So the flute becomes the Uddipan, the full moon night, the Sharad Purnima, the Madhuri Ras gets activated. For Mother Yashoda, it is the sunset, the Godhuli time. So all these things which are related to Krishna, which stimulate the Stahi Bhav, these are within the category of Vibhav, they are Uddipan. But directly Krishna himself as a subject, who is the support of love, and the devotee who is the abode of love, that is Alamban, Vishaya and Ashray. I hope you got it. Any questions on this? The definition of Vibhav. These are highly technical and philosophical discussions, but every day, day to day in our life, we are experiencing this, but we don't know. Yes, Dr. Archana Mataji.
No, I just wanted to express, I mean, as you said just now, we are experiencing these things that we are not aware of this knowledge, but henceforth, and we can correlate in day-to-day life,
Yes,
at
yes.
least just to memorize it and just to understand these definitions.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone has any other questions? Okay. So now we will go to what Prabhupada is saying in the purport. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.1.14, Vibhav is described as follows. Tatra geya vibhavastu ratyasvadana hetava. It is hetava, it is the cause of relishing rasa, vibhav. Te dvidalambaneke tato ivo dipana pare. The cause bringing forth the taste of love for Krishna. It is the cause, that vibhav is the cause. That which stimulates the stahi bhav. That's what I was explaining. Is called vibhav. Vibhav is divided into two categories. Alamban, support, and awakening. In the Agni Puran, it is stated. Vibhavyate hirati ratyadhir yatrayena vibhavate bhavunama sa Vedalambanodipanatmakaha. That which causes love for Krishna to appear is called Vibhav. That has two divisions. Alamban, in which the love appears, and Udipan, by which the love appears. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the following is stated about Alamban. Now, Vibhav is Alamban and Udipan. Now, what is Alamban? Krishnascha Krishna Bhaktas Cha Buder Alambana Mata Ratyader Vishadayatvena Tata Dharatyapi Cha. The object of love is Krishna, and the container of that love is the devotee of Krishna. Learned scholars call them Alamban, the foundations. So I just told that this chair, its need is, the foundation is there. There is Vishay, subject, Ashray. So Krishna is the Vishay, and the devotee is the Ashray of that love. So that is the definition of Alamban. Similarly, Uddipan Bhav is described as follows. Uddipanastu te prokta bhavam uddipayanti ye te tu si Krishna Chandrasya gunascheshta prasadanam. Those things which awaken ecstatic love are called uddipan. Mainly, this awakening is possible by the qualities and activities of Krishna, as well as mode of decoration and the way his hair is arranged. So I gave you some examples of Uddipan already. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also gives the following further examples of Uddipan. Smitanga Saurabe Vamse Shringa Nupura Kambhava Padanke Kshetra Tulsi Bhakta Tad Vashadadaya. Krishna smiled. That is more agitating. The fragrance of his transcendental body, his flute, bugle, ankle bells, and conch shell, the marks of his feet. When Akrura entered Vrindavan and he saw the footprints, immediately his Dasya awakened and he jumped from the chariot and rolled in the ground in ecstasy. So that acted as an Uddipan to manifest his Stahi Bhav in the form of Dasya. His place of residence, his favorite plant, Tulsi, his devotees, and the observance of fast and vows connected to his devotion all awaken symptoms of ecstatic love. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu describes Anubhav as follows. Anubhavastu chittasta bhavanam avabodhaka te bhair vikriya praya prokta udbhasvarakhyaya. The many external ecstatic symptoms or bodily transformations which indicate ecstatic emotions in the mind and which are also udbhasvara are the anubhavas or subordinate ecstatic expressions of love. So if you remember, I showed you this picture. So here, what is the anubhava here? Who will answer? What is the anubhavas here? In this picture, what you can see as anubhavas? Who will try? You can try. Janardhan Kabra Prabhuji. Jagdishwar Prabhuji, are you there?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm there.
Yes.
Actually, I joined just little before only. I
Okay. Dr. Archana Mataji, what are the anubhavas here in this picture?
Prabhuji, my Yashoda opening her hands and
Yeah, that which love she has, Vatsalya,
love.
she's manifesting by opening her arms.
Yes.
Are there any other anubhavas here? Krishna has also opened his arms. Krishna also has love for Mother Yashoda. He's also expressing his anubhavas.
So can we say this also?
Yes.
Okay.
Love has to be both-sided, huh?
Yes, yes, okay.
So this is anubhava. So that's why I'm giving examples, because the definitions are very difficult for us to understand. There are ecstatic expressions of love. Some of the symptoms are dancing, falling down and rolling on the ground, singing and crying very loudly, bodily contortions, loud vibrations, yawning, deep breathing, disregard for others, frothing of saliva, mad laughter, spitting, hiccups, and other similar symptoms. All these symptoms have two divisions, Sita and Shepana. Singing, yawning, and so on are called Sita. Dancing and bodily contortions are called Shepana. In his Anubhashya, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur quotes the following verse from the Vedic literature describing Udbhasvara. I'll just read the translation. The ecstatic symptoms manifest in the external body of a person in ecstatic love is called Udbhasvara by learned scholars. Some of these are the slackening of the belt and the dropping of clothes and hairs. Others are bodily contortions, yawning, a trembling of the front portion of the nostrils, heavy breathing, hiccuping and falling down and rolling on the ground. I mentioned about how Akrura was rolling on the ground when he saw the footprints. These are external manifestations of emotional love. These are external manifestations of emotional love. This is what you have to understand. That's it. That is Anubhav. Stamba and other symptoms are described in Madhya 14:167. So the other are Prabhupada doesn't quote here, but he says it is there in Madhya 14:161. So you have to refer that. Okay, text 52. Nirveda Harshadi Ch23 Vyabhichari Sabamile Rasahoy Chamatkar Kari. There are other ingredients beginning with complete despondency and jubilation. Altogether, there are 33 varieties, and when these combine, the mellows become very wonderful. So the Vyabhichari are 33 in number. There are 30 different varieties. Like Mother Yashoda, when she saw Krishna in the Kaliya hoods, her Vatsalya Prem got to a height and she was stunned. She was in despair. All these kind of emotions, what she was going through, they are following the Vyabhichari category. Now, these 33 Prabhupada will, discuss. Nirveda Harsha and other symptoms. Sometimes when we see some sweets and you like that sweet very much, your heart is rejoicing, you might just jumping up and down. So these are heightened emotions, jumping up and down. So they are Vyabhichari bhavs in one sense. Harsha, Nirved Harsha and other symptoms are explained in Madhya. Prabhupada again says the same thing. I should have referred to Madhya, but I've not referred it. The transitory elements, Vyabhichari, are described in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Now, I'll not read the verse. I'll just read the translation. There are 33 transitory elements known as Vyabhichari ecstatic emotions. They especially wonder about the permanent sentiments as assistants. So these transitory emotions, they assist the Stahi Bhav and they embellish the Stahi Bhav. They are to be known by words, by different symptoms seen in the limbs and in the other parts of the body, and the peculiar conditions of the heart. Because they set in motion the progress of permanent sentiments, they are specifically called sanchari or impelling principles. These impelling principles rise up and fall back in the permanent sentiments of ecstatic love, like waves in the ocean of ecstasy. Consequently, they are called Vyabhichari. So this is the definition of Vyabhichari Bhav. So now Vibhava, Anubhava, Vyabhichari has been described, definitions. The Satviki Bhavs, the Ashta Satvik Vigas, tears out of love, hair standing on end. These are involuntary actions and they are not defined here, but Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu goes into a lot of detail and defines them. Panchavida Rasa Shanta Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurya Nama Shringar Rasa Sabhaite Prabhala. There are 5 transcendental mellows: neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love, which is also known as the mellow of sweetness. Conjugal love excels all the others. Shringara Ras Sabhate Prabhalya. Shantarase Shantarati Prema Paryanta Hoy Hasyarati Raga Paryanta Kramete Badai. The position of neutrality, that is Shant, increases up to the point where one can appreciate love of Godhead. So the Shant Ras can go up till Prema stage. The mellow of servitorship gradually increases to the point of spontaneous love of Godhead. Dasya Raga Paryanta. Now here this Raga You have to understand this rag refers to what? Anyone can guess or think about it and answer. Think about it. Even if you're wrong, you can try. When Shant is said to be till Prema, Dasya is still higher and it is said to be till Raga. What does it mean? Yes. Parth Sarthi Prabhu. Yes. I think there is something wrong with your mic. You have to type it. Anyone else would like to try? Okay, we'll take the next verse. Sakyavatsala rati paye anuraga sima subaladyara bhava paryanta premera mahima. After the mellow of servitorship, there is the mellow of friendship and parental love, which increases to subordinate spontaneous love, anurag. This is up till rag. Previous verse. Dasya goes up till rag, whereas Sakyavatsala up till anurag. The greatness of love found in friends like Subal extends to the standard of ecstatic love. But within Sakya, there are special friends of Krishna who can go up till Bhav. Up till Bhav. Paryanta. Premera Mahim. Now, anyone would like to know or understand, anyone would like to say what this means? That Shanta goes up till Prema, Dasya up till Rag, Sakya and Vatsal up till Anurag, but some like Subala, they can go up till Bhav. So what does it mean? Anyone would like to speculate and try to answer? I know it's a very difficult subject, but it is all in our experience. Every day we are dealing with all this, but they are in the material realm. Okay, here I will just directly explain it here. Now, as I had mentioned, there is the 9 stages of bhakti: Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, Anarth Nivriti, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, and then Prem. At Bhava, our Stahi Bhav, Rasa with Krishna is revealed, and the Samagris together we start exchanging Rasa with Krishna at Bhava stage. Then higher to Bhava is Prema. And within Prema, we saw that there are these higher stages: Sneha, Mana, Pranaya, Raga, Anuraga, Bhava, and Mahabhav. So what this verse is saying, that Shantaras, you can go up till Prema stage here. Whereas Dasya, you can go up till Rag. That means you can go to Sneha, Mana, Pranaya, and Rag. Whereas Sakya and Vatsalya Rati can go up to Anurag. We can go up to Anurag in these rasas, Sakya. But Subaladir, they can go up till Bhava here. So the Sakas like Subala, they are called as Priya Narma Sakas. They are called as what? Priya Narma Sakas. So there are 4 different kinds of friends of Krishna categories. There are 4 categories. All are in Sakyaras. But there are some Krishna friends who are very, very intimate, and they arrange meeting of the gopis with Krishna, and sometimes they participate in these pastimes. They are also able to witness these pastimes. So they can go up till Bhava stage here. Now this Bhava is different from the Bhava, which is 1 level below Prema stage. This is within Prema, these Bhava stage. Is it clear? Yes or no? If it is yes, raise your hands. Nobody is raising hands. What happened? I'll have to ask individual of you, each one of you, I think. Nadia Chaitanya Prabhuji, yes.
Yes, Prabhu, understand, Prabhu.
Any questions you have? Now you can raise your hands if you have any questions. Okay, so, oh, Nadia Chetan Prabhu, you have a question?
No problem, no problem.
So now I'll explain what Prabhupada is saying in the purport. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that the mellow of neutrality increases to simply love of Godhead, that is prema. In the mellow of servitorship, dasya, love of Godhead increases beyond that to affection, counter love, love and attachment. Affection is sneha, counter love is mana, love is pranaya, and attachment is here rag. So that's what Dasyarati goes up till rag. It is the same with the mellow for parental affection. Sorry, sub-attachment. Sorry, yeah. Similarly, the mellow friendship, Dasya, goes up till affection, counter love, love, attachment, and sub-attachment. That is up till Anurag, Sakya and Vatsalya. It is same for Vatsalya. The special feature of mellow friendship exhibited by personalities like Subal is that it increases from parental affection to counter love to spontaneous attachment to subordinate attachment and finally to ecstasy, where all the ecstatic symptoms continuously exist. So it can go up till bhav here within prema stage. Please remember that. And why it is so? Because they are priya narmasakas who arrange for Krishna's meeting with the gopis and pastimes, and they sometimes also get to participate in it. So that's why they can go up till this stage. I hope it is clear. Okay, so time is up. I'll stop here. Any questions, any clarifications? No questions. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is a book which is at a PhD level, but everyone should study it from the beginning, because that is the book Prabhupada gave when he first went to America, published Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, because he wanted to give devotees the nectar of Bhakti Ras. So we should repeatedly study and hear, and then the subject will start becoming clear. Yes, Dr. Archana Mataji.
Yeah, actually, it's quite difficult, Prabhuji. I mean, we need to study it really very hard.
We are all having these experiences because in the world, there is only exchange which is happening in the form of rasas, but these rasas are perverted rasas, with the mother and the child, the mother and the servants, mother and the father, Madhurya ras, Sakya ras, Vatsalya ras, Dasya ras, and the other rasas like anger. But all these are perverted reflections of the original rasas in the spiritual world. When we get angry, our relations don't thicken, but they widen. They become estranged. They become strained, sorry, not estranged, strained. But there, that anger is in love, so the relation becomes deepened. That's the difference. Man is counter love. Prabhupada is saying counter love. That's the definition. So it's a matter of understanding. It's all within our experience, but we have to understand the science. It is a science. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Prabhupada said, the science of devotional service. So bhakti is a science. So we have to understand it. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Hare Krishna. Jagdishwar Prabhuji, you have a question? Yes, Prabhuji. I have unmuted you. Yes, Prabhuji. Okay, so we will stop here.